Hey all, Michael here. I listen to my favorite Nintendo music. Nintendo music is something so iconic you don't even realize it's there sometimes. I mean, the Mii Maker theme is so iconic, sometimes people forget it's even video game music. In 1985, music changed forever with the creation of video game music. While arcade games had small jingles and the Atari 2600 had bleeps and bloops, the NES was the first console to have a resemblance of music. The music isn't bad, but the next generation of consoles would have an even better way to have music. The Super Nintendo had some songs with great music. In fact, you can't even tell if a song is video game music in some cases. This was followed by the Nintendo 64 and GameCube. The Nintendo Wii is when Nintendo music had an absolute breakthrough. You see, Nintendo Wii was capable of orchestrating music, making this music not only good to listen to, but absolutely delightful. Due to this, and Nintendo Wii's large audience, made Nintendo music as iconic as it is today. When YouTube was created around the same time as the Wii, people started posting their favorite Nintendo songs to YouTube so they could listen to it. As you can assume, Nintendo, who has been protective of their IPs since the early 80s, started taking down the videos that were posting their music. Of course, creators were mad at this and asked Nintendo for some way to listen to the music. So Nintendo decided they could put some songs to listen to on the 3DS. While there wasn't an app for music, some games just showed their music, like Smash Bros. For the 3DS had a music feature. When the Nintendo Switch was released, Nintendo continued this practice of putting their songs in the games. But recently, Nintendo did something fans have been asking for years. They released an app called Nintendo Music. Fans have been asking for a way to listen to Nintendo music for years without response from Nintendo on whether or not it would come. But now we can listen to whatever Nintendo song we want. So let's open it up and... Damn it! Yeah, while this app is free to download, you need Switch Online to use it, which doesn't make much sense considering the fact you can resort to... Not like I would want to do that, I mean like some people might, you know. Because of the small fact that Nintendo has published over 1,000 games, there's a lot of music. Because of this, Nintendo obviously can't put all their games on this app. Right now there are only 25 games on the app right now. While Nintendo did say they were going to be adding more, the small roster of games would probably lead people to... But hey, let's not sell this thing short. The selection of games it has right now is great, currently having Super Mario Bros., the soundtrack from Metroid on the NES and the Famicom Disk System, which is nice to see they're both here even though they're very similar, Game Boy Dr. Mario, Kirby's Dream Land, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, Metroid Prime, Nintendogs, Tomodachi Collection, Super Mario Galaxy, the music from different Wii channels, Wii Sports, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Kirby Star Allies, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pikmin 4, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, Splatoon 3, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Super Mario Odyssey. While the overall selection is great, there are a few odd choices, like who wants to listen to music from Tomodachi Collection? That was a Japan exclusive, and the game Tomodachi Life exists on the 3DS with higher quality music. Also, where is the 3DS and Wii U music? These consoles have games with beloved soundtracks that aren't represented in the slightest. Well, Nintendo might not want to acknowledge the Wii U because it failed. Why not the 3DS? We could have gotten great soundtracks from games like Pokemon X and Y or Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds. Well, I do like that Metroid has both soundtracks. Why are they there? When other consoles like the Game Boy Advance or GameCube only have a single game with their soundtrack. So this makes more sense, but why is the Game Boy Color not represented either? I mean, while sometimes Nintendo groups the Game Boy as another Game Boy model, why couldn't Nintendo at least put a Game Boy Color song in the Game Boy section? But hey, maybe later down the line when they add more music, there will be more Game Boy Color, 3DS, and Wii U representation. But even though we don't have a lot of games, that doesn't mean we don't have a lot of songs. Every game in this app has its complete soundtrack, even the songs not even in the game's music list. Like I mentioned earlier, some games have a way to listen to music within the game. In Super Mario Odyssey's music list, there are 82 songs, which is almost all the songs in the game. In Nintendo Music, there are 136 tracks. This happens because it has all the tracks that play during cutscenes and jingles that play after certain things. This isn't exclusive to this game though. It's a similar case with every game in this app. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's music list only has 96 songs, Nintendo Music has 149 songs. The app even has a spoiler prevention feature, so you can block songs from games that you don't want spoilers for, since the song names or the track picture might spoil something. However, the app has one more problem. You might not see the app's problem because it isn't a poorly implemented feature, but a lack of something. The app doesn't have any credits. While you might not think about it, video game music has composers, even the games from the early days, but Nintendo doesn't credit a single composer, for no reason whatsoever. While I get not crediting every single person who helped with the game's music, because nowadays games have giant music teams, they could at the very least credit the game's main composer. But don't worry guys, I sent an email to Nintendo so they're totally gonna fix it, because we all know how much video game companies listen to fans. Even with all of these flaws, this is still an amazing app. While it does have issues like there's not that many games right now and they don't credit their composers, Nintendo is bound to change that. It's great to see that Nintendo's finally starting to listen to the fans and giving them something they've been asking for years. Maybe if we're lucky, this could start a trend within Nintendo to have them listen to fans more often. Oh no! They don't have the soundtrack from Metroid 2 on the Game Boy Color! Ah, pure bliss.